If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
50 degrees in downtown Sylacauga this morning on this 22nd day of November. Hope you're planning for a great weekend. Big weekend here in Sylacauga, Alabama. It's the Miss Sylacauga competition. Joining us this morning is Kim Todd and also Jennifer Edwards. Ladies, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us today. Tell us all about tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Miss Sylacauga, the legacy is returning, and it is a big event tomorrow. If you guys have never been to the program, you have a tremendous amount of entertainment, and you have the opportunity to support the future of young women in Sylacauga. Scholarships. It's not a beauty pageant. That's a big thing to remember.
That's right. It's Miss Sylacauga 2.0.
Yes.
So they have, the Miss America organization has revamped the whole program. So we're excited to bring it back this year to Sylacauga for Miss Sylacauga and Miss Sylacauga's outstanding teen.
Thank you for adding teen.
So how long have you ladies been involved with the program?
For a long time, longer than we're going to admit. But as a director, less than 6 months.
Yes.
I've been a former production choreographer and co-director back in the day with Miss Jane Vaughn and others.
Oh, yeah.
But then married and got traipsed around the country, and now we're back. So
the importance of having this in our city of Sylacauga, how big is that?
It's a huge asset to Sylacauga because there's so much more about the Miss America organization than just traipsing around a stage and looking pretty. It teaches young women poise. It teaches young women how to win with grace, how to lose with grace, how to interview and how to be interviewed. So it gives them a lot of life skills. I have been the recipient of some of those life skills back when I competed back in the 90s. And that's why we're here. We want to make sure that this is in place for the young women of Sylacauga now.
Yeah. Kim, this is a very, very competitive event, however.
it is, because the young women are competing for major scholarships. And you parlay yourself winning at this level, there are, whether you win or not, all of the candidates are going to receive scholarships and have scholarship opportunities that honestly were just beginning to evolve during our day. Then you go on to Miss Alabama, and the scholarship opportunities explode. And Ginger Dokwa McDaniel is our best story. She is now a nurse practitioner. Her entire college was paid for through going and competing multiple times to get to Miss Sylacauga.
Oh, that's huge.
It is huge. She competed multiple times here, achieved her nursing degree, went to Miss Alabama, and if you know Ginger, she is very effective in doing this, and sold her business case, walked out of there with a full ride to UAB. So these women have the opportunity to be debt-free in college. And even the women who, there's oftentimes many of these young women who are very smart and articulate. They already have a full ride, but it doesn't mean that scholarship opportunities are not available to them, because there's a lot of cash scholarships that go for books, housing, etc. If you've graduated, they will pay financial aid, any loans that you've done. So it's not, when you think scholarships, people may think, oh, well, maybe I already have one.
And it's also in-kind scholarships. So if they are a dancer, there are scholarships for
Multiples.
a year of dance.
Sometimes a year, sometimes a few months. It just depends on what the donors do. And oh my goodness, the city of Sylacauga.
What about, Jennifer, some of the qualifications that one must meet to be a part of this competition?
Sure. Well, for the Miss Sylacauga portion of the competition, you have to be age 18 to 24,
high school
or
senior,
high school senior,
depending on your birthday.
Correct. And then for Miss Sylacauga's Outstanding Teen, it's 13 to 17. So they also have to live within the Sylacauga area. If you were to have a line telephone, it would have to have one of the Sylacauga prefixes. So those are pretty much the main qualifications.
Yeah.
So how many young ladies are in the competition this year?
We have 10.
Okay.
We have 4 for Miss Sylacauga, and we have 6 for Miss Sylacauga's Outstanding Teen. And oftentimes people say, wow, sometimes back in our day there might have been 20. But I am like, volume and numbers are not as important to me as quality. And we've got even more qualified, high quality girls that, because of our condensed time frame of bringing this back since August, we are going to have many commitments for next year. I know our numbers are going to increase.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We even have young women who have expressed interest even past the deadline. Yeah. It's just not in time to get all the paperwork in. Yeah. So we'll definitely have a lot more girls next year.
Tomorrow night. Doors open, what,
6:30.
Okay.
So right before that, if we have not reached you yet, the sponsors, the Forever Miss Sylacaugas, the Forever Miss Sylacauga's Outstanding Teen, and I'm forgetting someone. So Miss Alabama will be there, and you'll have the opportunity to meet Miss Alabama. And have that experience. And, this reception is really about thanking this community for rallying this year and rallying all throughout the years and supporting this, because we couldn't do it without that.
And this is not something, ladies, that tomorrow night we'll do the crowning, but this has been going on for a while.
1937. 1937. Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
We are the longest running Miss Alabama preliminary in the state.
And questionably close. I'm going to find this out eventually, but Miss America and Miss Alabama turn 100 next year. And I'm very curious to know where we rank nationally, because it has to be high.
It has to be high.
Has to be high.
So what drives you ladies?
And it's interesting that you say that, because we don't live here anymore. We're gonna tell you that. And like I said, I've moved around. Ironically, Jen and I both live in Huntsville, and several of our other executive committee members do not live in Sylacauga either. And this is where I always tear up when I talk about this. This is our foundation of what made us, part of what made us who we are. This community made us who we are. We benefited so much from this that there was no question to get involved. And when I had the opportunity, there's been years that I've lived too far away, helped things with my family that we were dealing with. But now, I'm like, now I can. Jen?
For me, exactly what Kim said. This is my hometown. I was not born here. My family does not live here now. But my formative years, from age 11 till I graduated from Sylacauga High School, this is where I lived. This is where I worshipped. The community. As I walk around, I see someone who taught me Sunday school or someone who taught me French. I saw her in Walmart yesterday. So this is my hometown, and I love my hometown, and I want to give back to it.
We were poured into so much, and we had so many role models and mentors that really encouraged and made us, much like when you're younger, and we looked up to Miss Sylacauga.
Absolutely.
They were the role models. Then we also had so many, and I will forget, Judy Jones, Jane Vaughn, Kathy Algren, Becky Hackett, others.
Kim Parker was a choreographer when I was going through. Wow. So I looked at Kim Parker Todd like she was a superstar.
Look at this. Hey, tell us a little bit about what we have on the table here.
We had to share.
Yeah.
This is the unveiling. It's great.
Okay.
Go for it.
So we have, here is the tiara that will go on the newly crowned Miss Sylacauga tomorrow night.
Yes.
And this is the tiara that will go on the newly crowned Miss Sylacauga's Outstanding Teen tomorrow night. Yeah. You'll notice that they are very, very similar. There's a little more bling with the Miss Sylacauga tiara. And the teen tiara is just a little bit smaller. But they are both gorgeous. They come in these beautiful boxes. There's a crest on the top that's just gorgeous. And it's something that they can keep
It's
Forever.
a keepsake. It's in a beautiful box that they will carry with them. And what is really fun is you have even though we've got a 2.0 Miss Alabama, Miss America, they've returned to sashes, and we're going to get the scepters, and we're going to get the capes eventually, because when we were little, that was like, oh.
You wanted the scepters and the
not
capes.
sure we're going to go that far. But this is a piece of, to me, legacy. And legacy is probably the word.
The word.
Yeah.
The word.
Yeah. You know, for some reason, when I look at those beautiful pieces, I think we need to have security around those or something, or roped off. What about this?
So, dun da da da. Here is, I'm going to get it toward the light. This is the program, and it's beautiful. On the front, you will see that we have Tiara Pennington. She is Miss Alabama. And
She's a great young lady.
And wait till you hear her sing. If you have not heard her sing, get ready. So there's competition, but there is production and entertainment beyond your wildest expectations. We have Isabella Powell, Jayla Duncan, who are the current, I could say, bonus year, reigning Miss Sylacauga Miss Outstanding Teen. And
a lot of those ladies, young ladies you mentioned, have sat right where you're sitting this morning.
That's right.
They've been on this show.
Exactly.
And so we are blessed in our community to have great young ladies that are making an impact and will continue to make a positive impact.
Yes.
Now, let's talk tickets. How do we get tickets?
So for a very limited time today,
Today is
our financial chair tells us we need to shut it down at 12, but because we're doing this interview now, we're going to tell her we need to give them a little bit more time because she has a lot of work to do. But so we'll give it, let's say 5.
5. I was thinking 5.
Alicia, sorry. 5 up to 5 o'clock, MissSylacauga.com, and that's your go-to for everything. But you can purchase tickets for half, so $5.
Oh, wow.
For
Just
$5. Folks, for a wonderful night out. So $5 up until 5 o'clock today. After 5, you will purchase a ticket at the door. It does go up to $10. And the really cool ticket, and this is for all mamas, I'm sorry, but let the little girls know, young girls, and even I would do it.
I would too.
I would so do it. We are having a Meet Miss Alabama for these young girls
What a
and
dream
others.
for some of these little girls.
Yes,
Right.
they get to meet her. They get to have their photo taken with her. They will get their autograph. It's going to be so much fun. And that ticket is available. It is $20, but it is, you get early admission at 6 o'clock. So you get to arrive early. And the $20 also includes your general admission.
Right.
So it includes the 5 or the 10 that you would have normally paid for a general admission ticket.
And you get some refreshments.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be at the beautiful Sylacauga Arena
Sylacauga
over there.
High School, yes. And it's so beautiful to walk through those doors.
Not a bad
for
seat
us.
in the house.
There is
Not at
not
all.
a bad seat in the house.
Now,
And,
before we go,
yeah.
I didn't want to touch it, but
You can touch it, but there's fingerprints
Okay,
now.
I'm sorry.
You touched it on the back. This is cool. These will be for our alternates and preliminary winners. We wanted something that could be, for some of us, we had trophies, and it evolved throughout the years, but those trophies kind of got tucked away. This, on the other hand, it's almost like a paperweight, and it's small. It can sit on someone's bookshelf, for a legacy of time. So doesn't it look like a diamond?
Oh, yeah.
What girl
Tomorrow
doesn't
night.
want a diamond?
Right?
Tomorrow night, the big event here in Sylacauga.
Yes.
And ladies across the state, I'm sure there are mothers and grandmothers and little girls and daughters, and maybe those little girls are dreaming about being a part of what this is going to be tomorrow night. Encourage little girls to dream their dream.
That's what we did.
That's right.
We watched, as we talked about before, growing and evolving and developing. If we had not been a part of the program early on, we didn't have those role models, I didn't win immediately. It's a stepping stone as you go. You learn and grow and get better. I tell the story of Jane Vaughn at the rec when we did interviews. I held her hand. I probably left bruises, and I did look at her and I said, I am physically going to get ill on your shoes. She's like, "Hun, you're not. You're going to be good." And it felt like she holds, graced the back, and it felt like she pushed me out of the nest as I walked in that door. And it was the best thing ever, because even up until I competed in Miss Sylacauga, I was still so nervous. It parlayed me into the ability. I've spoken in front of large audiences. Now, I would have never said yes to you before that. So we're here, and now we get it.
Jim?
And Jim,
That's right.
same thing.
Exactly. I mean, just the ability to have confidence when you, these little girls right now, they're not thinking about interviews when they grow up, but having the confidence to walk into a room with your head held high and be able to speak to a group full of people or speak to potential employers, it's just such a benefit, because if you do this several times in the interviews, you have different people who are interviewing you, and sometimes you'll do great, sometimes you may not, but you learn how to get better.
And Kim, you mentioned at the top of the show about scholarship dollars.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! So what a great asset that is to have.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Anna Comer is the scholarship woman, and we're not going to divulge the dollar amount at this point, but Maxie Veazey, Miss Maxie, and Beth Yates, there are scholarships in both of their names. Miss Yates has a scholarship from the Fine Arts Council that is given to talent, and it's a $500 scholarship. Miss Maxie, the dollars are raised by individuals and corporations, are given from those donors, and each of those dollars gets split equally among the candidates. And when I tell you Miss Comer came in and put us to shame in a very good way. So young women who are competing in Miss Sylacauga, you're going to want to thank her. She will be one that you visit and say thank you to.
And I want to make sure that you heard, she said individuals. The people of Sylacauga. This is not just companies. This is not mom and pop or even big corporations who are funding this Maxie Veazey. It is, your teacher from kindergarten. It's just individuals, citizens of Sylacauga who are supporting this Maxie Veazey.
And it's not large. I mean, all the dollars add up. We have a countless number of $25 donations, and then they span to 3 digits. They've spanned to 4 digits in the past. It's amazing. But I have to read this quote. I don't know, how much time do we have? Are we good for a
30
second?
seconds.
Well, never mind. You'll hear it.
A minute.
You will
A
hear
minute.
it.
It's on the program.
A minute.
So it says, the greatest of a community is most accurately measured by the compassion actions of its members. Coretta Scott King. That is what this community is.
All right. Thank you both ladies for being
Thank
here.
you.
Look forward to
Thank
seeing
you
you
so
tomorrow night,
much.
6:30 over at Sylacauga High School.
Please come.
And it is a Miss Sylacauga competition. You get your tickets to be a part of it. Ladies, have a great day today.
Thank you too.
More Daybreak in just a minute.